Merry Christmas. I hope everything is going well for you. My holiday has been pretty nice, actually. Have some friends in town that are visiting. Always good to see them. Christmas Eve, I was able to spend with my family on my mom's side. It was good catching up with them as well. And today, Christmas Day, I don't really have much going on. But one of my favorite things to do during the holidays is sit down and reflect on my year and see how things have gone. Things that have gone well, things that I wish would have gone a little bit differently, where I was putting in the work, where I could have possibly put in more work. And the holidays are a pretty good time to do that. I know sometimes it can be really stressful trying to keep up with everything, make sure you get the gifts for the right people, making sure to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that. And it's good to take some time for yourself in all of that as well, which is something that I started doing pretty consistently towards the end and then after high school. That's also good if you don't have people to spend these days with. Like, I don't know how your holiday has gone. It could be great. You could love spending time with family. You could be a big people person. You might be having the time of your life seeing these people that you haven't had the chance to in a while. But at the same time, you could be spending this time alone. It might be harder for you. Either way, it's always good to sit down and check in with yourself, see where you're at. Like I said, I started doing this towards the end of high school and then started doing it more consistently afterwards, where I would spend like Thanksgiving and Christmas with family one day, and then the rest of that long vacation, I'm sitting with myself. I'm checking in. I'm seeing how I feel. How could I be feeling better? Like, what do I want to be doing with my life? And this time of year is also a great time to be doing this because you've already had the whole year and you're moving into the next year. And when you take that time to reflect now, you kind of get a jump on things once the next year comes around. So like 2024, me taking the time to see where I'm at and then kind of plan where I want to go gives me the time to get started right away when the new year comes around. Like, I know so many people are into those like New Year's resolutions, and that's something that never really sat right with me. Why wait until the next year to make change if you actually want to make change? You could always start now. And that's something else about New Year's resolutions is how often do you see people saying things like, oh yeah, once the next year comes around, I'm going to start going to the gym and I'm going to start eating healthy and I'm going to focus on myself and do all of these good things. And then first few days, they're really into it, really motivated. First week, 2 weeks, things are going great. But then before too long, those old habits start creeping back in. Before too long, they end up doing the same old things that they've been doing, and the change doesn't happen. It's really easy to get burned out when you don't have a plan. I'm planning things out. There are many reasons why so many New Year's resolutions fall through. I think one of the main reasons is the fact that people don't go into their resolutions with a solid plan in place. So that's where writing comes in. You have to figure out what it is that you want, why you want it, and how you're going to get it. So an example of that for me is fitness. I have been big into fitness since basically as long as I can remember, but got more consistent with it partway through high school. Started with a lot of calisthenics stuff, and then that moved into me getting a personal training certification, working at a kickboxing gym, and my personal fitness, after COVID turned into me getting into lifting, doing like squats, deadlifts, stuff on the bench, weights mixed in with my calisthenics. I was doing a lot of hybrid training. And then within this past year, I focused a lot more on lifting. I wanted to build that size and that strength. Moving into this next year, I realized that I'm getting a little bit burned out on that heavy lifting, and I don't just want to be strong. I want to be powerful, and I want to be able to move my body the way I want to move it. I want to be able to punch and kick effectively. I want to be able to do pull-ups and muscle-ups and different like tricks on the bar. I want to work on like my martial arts skill as well. Instead of lifting heavy, that's going to look like more mobility and plyometrics training this next year. I have stretching routines planned out. I have workouts planned out. I have figured out how my training is going to look for this next year. And I'm going to stay consistent with it through this next year. And then once again, once the end of 2024 comes along, I'm going to check back in, see how am I doing with these things? Where did I see the most growth? Did I reach my goals? Am I as flexible as I would have liked to see myself at the beginning of the year? Can I see where that progression is going into the future? Just got to stay consistent with yourself. It's so easy to fall off when you don't have a plan. And I think that planning is very important. Outside of things like fitness as well. Health, wealth, relationships, mindset. Where do you want to be with all of those things? Each category you should go through, figure out what you want, why you want it, and how you plan on getting it. Like a step-by-step process. Make it as simple as you can. And when I say simple, I don't mean lazy. Don't distract yourself with all the filler. Get down to the bare bones of things and figure out exactly what the most simple steps are to get you to your goal. What's that 20% effort that you can put in that will get you 80% of your results? Figure that out in every single aspect of your life. I know that I want to cut out all of my bad habits that I can. Right now, my worst is probably sleep. I know I would like to get 8 hours of sleep and wake up at 6 a.m. So that would look like me going to bed at 10 p.m. consistently every night. And plan on doing that for at least a year. Give yourself time frames to work within as well. As you can set these goals, but if you don't set time constraints on them, you can just say, oh, it's going to happen at some point. And it will stay at some point until you die. And then you didn't get anything done. So, get specific with your goals. It can be very easy to get caught up in everything that everyone else is doing as well. Friends pull you in one direction, family pulls you in another direction, but you need to figure out what it is that you want to be doing with your time. It's really easy to do, but it's only easy when you get yourself away from those distractions. You know there are things that you could be cutting out. You know you should be watching less TV. You shouldn't be on social media as much. Stop watching reels, get off YouTube. You know you want to create something. But nothing is going to be made if you are constantly distracting yourself, filling your mind with the nearest thing you can grab. And that happens so often during the holidays. Dinner with friends, dinner with family, eating all the leftovers, messing around with the gifts that you got, organizing, figuring out where you can use all these things. And then before you know it, your whole vacation is used up, and now you're back into your same old routine. Same thoughts, same actions. That momentum just kind of pulls you along. Take the time to take a step back. Let yourself sit in silence. Let yourself be bored. Because in those moments when you are not letting your attention be taken elsewhere, thoughts are going to come up. That's why I take so much time to myself during the holidays. I know it is important for me to organize my thoughts to better achieve my goals. I hope you'd be willing to do the same. So if this is something that you are interested in working on, just start with this. You don't need a fancy notebook or anything. Just get a piece of paper or a notes app in your phone. Write down these 4 categories: health, wealth, relationships, and mindset. Write down what it is that you want in each category. So as an example, health. I want to get to such and such weight, or I want to be able to achieve X feet. Like I want to be able to do 10 muscle ups. I want to be able to do 100 push-ups in a row without stopping. I want to be able to run a mile in 5 minutes. How do you plan on doing these things? Train consistently. You have your push days, you have your pull days. Pull days, working on pull-ups, chin-ups, rows, those sorts of things. Push days, push-ups, dips, tricep extensions, skull crushers. You can split your workouts up. How to train consistently. You're not going to work pull-ups every single day. You need to give your muscles time to recover. Running a mile in 5 minutes. How can you work on that? Cardio is one of those things that you can do very, very consistently at varying levels. Like for me, sometimes cardio is just like a little bit of jump rope. Sometimes it's going for a 3-mile run. Sometimes see if you can run longer than that. See how long it takes you. Have a set route. Time out how long it takes you to run that distance. Now that you have that time recorded, see how you can work that number down consistently and do the work consistently. Who knows, you might reach that goal before that year's even up. Wealth. How much money do you have in the bank? How much would you like to have in the bank by the end of the year? How much money do you want to be making every month, every week? What are you doing with that money once you get it? When it comes to saving, where are you putting your money? What percentage are you putting aside to go into your savings, an emergency fund, investment fund, daily spending, and then just something else, maybe travel? Between those 5 categories, what percentage are you putting in each? No matter how much money you get, put that specific percentage in each every time you get it. End of the year, you'll have hundreds to thousands of dollars in each. You have to control your spending, but you have to be intentional with it. Relationships. Are you happy with your friends? Are you happy with the people you're spending your time with? Are your friends and family making you better, or are they holding you back? Do you need to take more time to yourself? Those relationships that matter will still be there, but you might need to disconnect. You might be distracting yourself with those people. You might think that you're having fun, but you could be doing more. And you know you could be doing more. It's not a bad thing. Everyone's on their own path. Some people will be on that path with you, but others might just be doing their own thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Are you wasting your time chasing girls? This next year, not at all. If something comes up in person, great. Get off dating apps. They're wasting your time. How many of those people don't want to make real connections on there anyway? People want validation. They want someone to talk to. They don't want to actually meet up with you. In the rare case that they do, is that going to go anywhere? How many of those girls do you have? If you have to make a choice of one, how is that choice going to affect all those other people that you've made relationships with? You're giving up your energy in who knows how many different directions that you don't plan on following up on. How is that helping you? So disconnect. Not everyone needs to know your business. Bare minimum information to get yourself going. To the right people. Random person you meet on the street doesn't need to know what your plans are. Friend of a friend doesn't need to know what your plans are. Like, you can catch up with people. Hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in so long. Good to see you. This is what I've done. There's a difference between what you've done and what you plan on doing. Don't just put those plans out there. They'll see the finished product once you put it out. I haven't even told people about this channel. I'm not doing it just to tell people that I did it. This is something that I want to be doing, and it doesn't matter if those people that I'm used to seeing see it or not. Like, it might get back around to them, depending on how big this gets. They'll hear about it eventually, but when they do, it's not going to be because I was forcing it down their throat. It's going to be because it's meaningful. You know? Mindset. How do you feel about all these things? Are you a happy person? Do you wish you were in a better mood? What can you be doing to improve your mindset? And that comes back to not distracting yourself, not being so attached to those harmful habits. How are you building your mind? Reading consistently, information that would help you, learning skills, meditating, all good things you could be doing. But instead, you're wasting your time. We're reflecting now so we can recognize these blind spots and then turn them around. So that's all I have right now. Like I said, hope your holiday is going well. Even if it's not, you can turn it into something good. You need to learn how to be there for yourself. Learn to be still. Think. Reflect. Who knows, you might have a good idea. That's what this was. This was me sitting by myself on Christmas morning after sitting there and being grateful for the gifts that I got. Grateful for being in this body that moves extremely well, if I do say so myself. I'm happy with the progress that I've made, but I know I still want more. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. It's good to recognize how far you've come. Just appreciate it. Be thankful too. Send that gratitude to other people as well. That was something else that I did today after waking up, working out, whatever. Say Merry Christmas. Tell people you appreciate them. And it doesn't just have to be a holiday to do that either. Let people know that you care. It feels good. I know, with everything that I do, this is me trying to figure out how to express myself to others. I suppose that's something else in this reflection of mine, is just trying to figure out how to connect. Get a journal. Write these things down. Track them. Year by year, month by month, week by week. Daily check-ins if you're serious. Just, get a schedule. Structure your day exactly how you want. I know sometimes you're being distracted with work, family, friends, but when it comes down to it, you're choosing how you spend your time. And it can be difficult sometimes because your energy is being pulled in so many different directions. But if you're willing to just start structuring your day yourself, and if you're willing to stay consistent with it, like, you can completely change the direction that your life is moving in. Yeah. Merry Christmas.